Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. In this video of mine, I will feature about 3 minutes of Maria Zakharova again, stripping down a narrative, a murky business coming from the White House, especially the idiot John Kirby's statements. Yesterday, I made this video where I said smart Maria Zakharova intelligently smacks US rude John Kirby's manure insult, educated / or versus uneducated. She logically and intelligently destroys this imbecile. Now, again, in this 3 minutes video that I will feature here, Maria Zakharova will destroy the American version of who attacked Crocus Concert Hall near Moscow. You know, the Americans were fast to point out that ISIS claimed responsibility, like you would trust them. But anyway, and then they said, well, Ukraine was not involved. Well, if you know that Ukraine was not involved, then you should know who it is, so you can, And then when Mr. Kirby was asked, did you withhold information from the Russians telling them exactly if you knew about this attack? Kirby is going to be a weasel as always and will avoid that. Maria Zakharova will call out this weaselship coming again from our team players. So let me show you. There's no secret that I admire intelligence, courage, wisdom, intelligence, wisdom, and Maria Zakharova has them. Kirby doesn't have them. He has different qualities nowadays. I made that claim in the previous video. Go and watch the one I showed you. So here is Maria Zakharova, and this is provided by Russian news, and it's about 3 minutes or 4 minutes, something like that. So she's going to talk about she's going to put it in the context. It's not going to be hard to understand, but here she is.
Words of White House spokesman John Kirby, which came from Washington hot on the heels, caused bewilderment not only abroad, but also within the United States of America. The first thing he said was that it was necessary to get more information about what happened, verbatim. In order to put the puzzle together, it would seem that it would be more reasonable to wait for at least some initial examinations, the results of interrogations, the results of the work of the investigative authorities. But no. Just a couple of hours later, apparently, the puzzle in the White House had finally come together. The White House and the State Department stated, direct quote, that Ukraine had nothing to do with this terrorist attack. End of quote. Based on what data and what information did they draw this conclusion? This is completely incomprehensible. Only one thing is clear. They began to justify the Kiev regime in order to remove suspicions from themselves. Everyone understands perfectly well that there is no independent Kiev regime without Western financial support and without military assistance to this regime. Asked whether the United States knew about the attack in advance, White House spokesman John Kirby said the State Department would have to be asked. I mean, can you imagine? Just think about it. It is very important. When they needed to answer the question of who was behind the terrorist attack in Russia, it only took the State Department and the White House a couple of hours to do so. They immediately said who was to blame. The White House was asked whether the Biden administration or the American intelligence community officially transferred the relevant materials to Moscow. They couldn't answer this question. They said that journalists need to contact other departments. How did it happen? This is your area of responsibility. This is your competence. This is something that is related to your actions. Why are you not ready to answer for your actions? But to write out a prescription for something that you absolutely do not understand, given that you do not have the facts on hand. At least you did not say that you have the facts. You are ready to do this quickly. I would like to remind you that on March 7th, the American embassy called on its citizens not to go to shopping centers. The embassies of other NATO countries did the same, which indicates that their intelligence services had some information about possible terrorist attacks. The obvious synchronization of condolences between representatives of Western authorities and statements from Washington did not go unnoticed by us. U.S. satellites published them, as a rule, through social networks, only after apparently receiving permission from their big brother. Of course, the authorities of some NATO countries stood out. In particular, the new NATO member, Sweden. In the first hours after the attack, Stockholm authorities limited themselves to a brief commentary that, verbatim.
You can go and watch that in the Russian news. What she's going to claim here, she's going to say everything is a coordinated order coming from someone, and that is Al Capone, according to her big brother. This reminds me of the Georgian attack on South Ossetia, if I remember correctly, in 2008. Well, I think it was 2008, when Putin was attending the Beijing Olympics opening ceremony. These guys attacked, invaded, and then Putin said that for about, 12 hours or 24 hours, the Western media did not report shit about it. He said, I would like to, I saw that interview of Putin on YouTube then. He said, I would like to congratulate our Western colleagues. You did a good job. You coordinated a complete silence on this issue. And you can see this on major issues in the United States of America where there's just silence. You don't hear anything about it. We hear one time and then they're buried. So what the point she made with Sweden was exactly that. After everybody was given the order, and everybody the next day came and sent certain condolences. Now, what did she say here was, well, you immediately knew it was not Ukraine. But then you needed 2 hours to provide information based on what? It was not Ukraine. Remember, Ukraine is not you. Ukraine is over there. But you did not know the answer if you provided the relevant information, something that, as she said, is based on your competence, your actions. So like you tell me, you ask me, Emil, have you been yesterday at the grocery store? I don't know, ask my mommy if I was at the grocery store. That's me. I should tell you if I was or I wasn't. But I can certainly tell you that Tom Jones was not at the grocery store yesterday. I know what Tom Jones did yesterday, but I can't answer for what I did. You have to go and ask those guys. What? Okay, so this is ABC 123. I don't know, man. Finding what the hell happened. Chronological and logical, I don't know, answer. You don't know that, but you know that immediately, and then you coordinate with everybody else, according to the Russians. Now you go and watch that. I will name the title of this Russian news video, which is about 23 minutes and 39 seconds. I watched the entire statement coming from Maria Zakharova, and the title is Ukraine said that it was Moscow that killed its citizens in Crocus City Hall. Zakharova, Russia. This is the title. Go and watch it if you want. And you're gonna, you don't have to agree with it, but at least it should make you think, hey, maybe I'm skeptical about that. Right? Now, the media in the West said, we, the Americans, informed, gave the Russians a heads up. There's going to be a terrorist, we're going to be this, it's going to be something. It was so vague. If you would tell me, hey, don't go outside, that's it's a lot of people, it's crowded, and you might get in trouble. This is your warning for me. So this is what, avoid crowded places, especially concert halls. What are you going to do? Forever and ever you put guards over there? Is that what you're going to do? What if the Americans would have said, well, in the streets, avoid streets. Well, avoid, cars. Or avoid, pencils. You're not going to write anymore. Telephones could explode or something. It's so vague or almost impossible to defend. You remember September 11, 2001, the Americans were receiving some warnings about tall buildings, maybe airplanes. Could they stop it? Well, that was a different thing altogether. Remember? Yeah, okay. You're with me? Okay. So, but anyway, they said it was, and then what was the justification? their counter-arguments, it's almost impossible to defend all this, you know what I mean? So yeah, the Russians claim that the Americans had more information and didn't share. Now, I read an article where an American, I can't remember who exactly he was, he said, well, obviously we can't give the Russians all the information, warning, because they could figure out how we got the information, therefore we'll endanger our sources. That's correct. That's correct. But let me tell you this little analogy. You are upset, and I gave you this in the other video, I think. You are upset with the neighbor. Okay, you don't like the neighbor, you're upset with him, you're not friends. But then you go down the street or something like this, and you hear some people, you know, or someone tells you, or, hey, we're gonna attack your neighbor's child while he's at school. Wouldn't you go to your neighbor and say, hey, I heard Gigi, Mike, and Tom that they plan to attack your child, cause some harm to your child at school while the child is, wouldn't you? Because, well, I'm afraid they're gonna, I don't like him anyway, I'm going to disclose my... People die because of your non-disclosure. Would you do that? I mean, just an example. Some people might not, some people might do it, but nevertheless, at least say, yes, we knew, but we didn't give it to you. No, they just, that might reveal, but we gave the relevant information. The relevant information is, Emil, don't go outside, all right, in the world, because people could cause you harm. Thank you very much for the warning. What am I going to do? Stay in the basement with a mask and do some 3,000 vaccinations on me? Boosters? All right, my friends, I think, again, Maria Zakharova, she's smart. And you can tell, I watched her statements many times. And she's not answering questions, making statements not from her memory or from her paper. She's very intelligent. She thinks for herself. When she says certain things, when she answers, she knows. It's not like Kirby or like Karine Jean-Pierre, the French White House spokesperson. I will leave it here because I'm a dumbass. Or like what? The other one, Psaki, Jem Psaki, another. I will circle back. No, we're here. Don't circle anything fucking back. We're here. Tell me. I have to ask those guys. I can't think. And many, many other spokespeople. They're supposed to, be weasels, I guess. Remember, when you have over there a spokesperson, he's over there supposed to answer any fucking question the guys over there, the media, asks. So I will circle back to you, or I will leave it here. I'm not talking to you. That's your fucking job. Good or bad, the question. You are supposed to by your job. I'm not going to get into this. Yes, you are. But we got used to freaking $220,000 a year or something like this, which this Karine Jean-Pierre gets from us. She's not going to tell us because she doesn't feel like. She's a little bit insulted about that question. And we're like, yeah, man, she was insulted. Be kind. Fuck you. I don't care about being kind. I care about being truthful. But for me, truth is way ahead of being kind. Are you be kind and a liar, or being truthful and an asshole? Obviously, you want to be kind and truthful. That's the ideal, but rarely you find that one. So I pick rude and truthful before I pick kind and a weasel, liar, many, light years. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. These guys are uneducated. Are just appointed by friendship and by, I know you, your thing, I kiss your ass, I'm your boy over there. Fuck shit.